Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name's Preston. I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
Hello, set four is out and it's pretty exciting.
It sure is, and we are just seeing so many different decks pop up. We wanted to talk about our initial Meta Monday. So
Yes,
this is
sir.
two decks that we're excited to talk about, and I
Yeah,
think you might have a hint already of what they are.
yeah. Definitely looking at some Rebecca. Rebecca was something that we were talking about a little bit in our tier list video up here.
Mhm.
We just needed to see where it would go, and it would probably take a little while to get going. But we've already seen, a couple win some early little locals,
Mhm.
and we wanted to definitely talk about it. This Rebecca was heavily black, with a very few blue mix. But I think that goes to show that the black deck that was introduced, on its own works.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a strong enough archetype where there's just enough cards to pull together a semi-cohesive deck. And it works well for itself. We've seen a lot of like variety when it comes to set four. With all dual color leaders, you're gonna get just some crazy options. And Rebecca Black is a big contender for what people want to play. I think there's a lot of good options since you do have a blue side that this deck is completely ignoring. Really, like there's Soja King here, but there's a complete disregard for all the good blue events that we got. And that might be just because the Rebecca Searcher, the one drop 2K search, is probably on the weaker side of searches, only going three cards deep.
Yeah, that's probably the big reason why we're going heavy Dressrosa. I think a lot of the other lists I've seen are down to like two Rebeccas and playing more of a blue mix, which gives you more utility, but this gives you a little more maybe consistency. So there's got to be a little bit of a trade. But the end game has to speak for itself then, because that's where a lot of archetypes really fail. Is the middle or the support works, but the end
Mhm.
game typically lacks. But this event card is an end game on its own. When you have these few targets, you probably need to up the laws, I would imagine, but um, just to keep the pressure going that way. It's really cool because I don't think a lot of other decks and a lot of other colors when their first set were successful. A lot early on. Katakuri was probably the closest, but I think Rebecca might be contending for best black deck this format.
Yeah, and I think people want to play Rebecca.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's really that it's different and exciting. We do have it like in what is that C tier in our tier list.
That's B
With
tier.
like it's in the potential.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's B tier. It's in the potential category, and I think a lot of people are gonna play it to see if they can beat the red decks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I also think it's going to go through a lot of different iterations. I think we'll see a lot of different versions of this deck, a lot of different versions of this leader. I don't think you necessarily have to play the Dressrosa stuff, even with Rebecca, or not like heavily. So I am curious to see how low we'll go in the Dressrosa department to play other things in the future. But it's definitely exciting to see this early on out of a new leader that can attack. So we were a little nervous about. So this is
Hmm.
this is a this is a good way to go so far.
Yeah, and if you want to get the leader effect, I think this is the best way to go. Because the leader effect is even a lower search count. So you can
Yeah.
look at the top two cards and grab a card off the top of your deck. So it's basically in this most likely a draw one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you just basically get to pull an extra card every turn as long as you can maintain that hand size limit. Um, but I think, like you're saying, you could probably play a much different deck, a
Mm-hmm.
lot different, and revolve it around the most ridiculous three cost event that I think we have so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's translated here as Gung Gum King Kong Gun, which
Nice.
is an absolutely nightmare to say out loud. Um, which I believe that the tweet posted like you could probably take out the Luffy's and the Cavendishes and just play around this card. And I
Yeah.
think if you balanced out Lob with Luffy a little bit more, you probably could just play around this 3 cost event that just does way too much. It does have the condition to get double attack to have 15 cards in your trash, but if you're playing it at the end game on a deck that wants to discard already also,
Hmm.
I think it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's a wonderful mechanic, and it's a like I said, end game in its own. It doesn't necessarily have to be on Bound Man, but it still
mhm.
seems like your best target. So I could see why. I can understand why it could be frustrating at times. But I think you have to play him. You have to see it. So like I said, we'll see different iterations. We'll see what it'll look like in a month from now. But that card, Kiros and Sabo, those seem to be really consistent in all the versions I've seen. Real MVP so far in this early format.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sabo has to be played. It's going to be played in every black deck already anyway, so
yeah.
it has too many things that it does. Perfect SR.
Oh, absolutely. And then the next leader we are covering in this video, it is the Bison Cup runner-up with Blue Yellow Queen. And it is beautiful, by the way. I can't think of a prettier deck out in the format right now. This one might be it.
Yeah, I can't imagine a more alt-art deck right now.
Yeah.
Um, it's insane that they are able to get all of these cards. So we just need a couple more. Is it 2 events and a Kaya away from being
Yeah, get him out of
in,
here.
yeah. Why do you even need to play good cards? Just
Yeah, get him out of
play
here.
a couple more alts.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But this deck is not only good to look at, but probably great to play.
Hmm.
Um, we're playing probably a few cards shy of the best cards in the game for these 2 colors. They decided I'm going to play only good cards.
Hmm.
And the only ones I'm not sure about, and it's probably just because they have an altar, is the Yamato. We were talking pretty extensively on like, do you Yamato? Do you Kaido? You probably want a Yamato so you still get your queen effect, but its effect just feels boring to me. Uh,
Well,
that's the like what it boils down to is I feel like there's better uh, effects that you could go with. Because you most likely aren't going to get a good benefit off the first effect, but then you gain a life,
you're right.
which could be bad when it comes to getting your queen effect off because you have to stay below 4 between your hand and your life. Um, so it's a very interesting card to put at 4 when Mihawk's sitting right next to it, which is an always, probably always good effect in this deck.
Right. And we can go back and forth on that one for a lengthy video for no reason, honestly. But there is that benefit, right? Yamato can get you 2 life, hypothetically, in a turn. That's a huge swing.
Mhm.
I still like the idea of Kaido, but I also understand that getting the queen effect is very important. I think Kaido can be really good in this deck as well, hypothetically. And yeah, I think Mihawk is, he's been around for a long time for a reason. And then kind of Curry might just be enough, to be honest. We might be able to get away with playing just a couple less Yamatos
Mhm.
just because of that. But yes, this is an archetype in itself that kind of got in the way. A lot of other card games adopt this format early because it works. We just have enough cards at this point where we can just play the good cards in both colors and it just works. These are both also ruthless event cards. Absolutely just keeping nothing on board here. We have deck movement. We have a lot of peep.
Mhm.
There's blockers. There's a lot of bounce and send to life in bottom of the deck. And we have a leader effect that can get us a little bit of life if we can keep one of these guys on board.
Mhm.
It's an interesting deck. I'm definitely excited for it. I really like the idea of peeping playing a peep card, and then using the queen effect to put something with really good trigger effect on top of the deck.
Hmm.
I think that is a high skill mechanic available in queen decks. Really fun, really fun. Just good card deck.
Yeah, and if you don't end up having one of your several high drops, because you're going from category up, so four category, four Yamato, and two Mihawks. So if you don't have any of those 10 cards on the board, your queen is going to be drawing a card. So that does that like there's something about having a leader effect that is drawing almost every turn or could possibly be drawing every turn very early on if you put yourself in a situation to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if there's enough counter on your side of in your hand, you'll be able to do that. You can play a couple blockers, you can counter out, you get your hand size low enough, you're able to draw with your leader or gain life with your leader, and then play Kaya or something like that. Like there's a lot that you can do with this deck that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that people are latching on to that excitement and not letting it fall to the side because like not all of the current blue stuff is playable in this deck or all of the yellow, you know what I mean? Like it's they sell, oh, good card, let's just play good cards, and
Yep.
that's super great for a card game, I think.
Yeah, really cool. It generally comes out a little later when we have more sets, so I think
Mhm.
we have enough. You know, it obviously this is definitely a deck to look forward to here in the West. I think all of our blue players might cater over to Queen when this comes around. I think this is pretty exciting, pretty cool. Definitely excited for more non thematic decks to work. So
Yeah.
let's keep that creativity in other colors too. That's
Hmm.
fun. And I think that would do it for a Meta Monday video featuring our first couple set 4 decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know, guys, in the comments. What's the next leader we should look for? We saw a couple of VVs. That could be fun. I know it's red, but it's different, right? So it's fun. But yeah, let us know in the comments, guys. What's the next leader you want us to see cover here on the channel for set 4?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, definitely. If you guys are still here, please consider doing the YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.
Peace.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Since I'm not playing the song, should I sing it? Do do do.
Yes.
Wait. Okay, we'll probably just cut it here.
Just cut it early. Cut
Yeah,
it
I cut it like around here, I think. Yeah.
early.